All right, guys, let's go. We are here in the grand finals. Wait, it's not the grand finals. It's the upper bracket finals of the Team Liquid Star League. It's a big best of 7 match between the two best big brain strategic Zergs who are masters of late game in the world. We've got Rogue in the bottom left, who's gone pool into hatchery into gas. A very safe opening. Looks like he might have expected a 12 pool from his opponent, who's just played very standard in the bottom right. This is Serral, representing NC Esports. So Dragon Phoenix Gaming up against NC Esports. For those who don't know, there was actually a documentary just put out by Assembly, the Finnish LAN, who've been running their big LAN. Often it's called Asus ROG, is usually sponsoring the StarCraft tournament. But basically, they put out a little half-hour documentary on YouTube. It's only got a couple thousand views. Give it a Google, guys. If you just search StarCraft 2 documentary, Serral, a StarCraft documentary, you'll be able to watch it. Just a nice little half-an-hour doco with Serral and his dad and whatnot, talking about him. So if you want to hear more about Serral and his family and his life over there, basically playing golf and winning every StarCraft tournament for a couple of years, go check that out. But this is going to be an interesting match because, as I said, Maru is the best player in the world. I've been saying that in a lot of my videos recently. At first I was like, no, Serral's probably better. He's probably the GOAT. Recent streak tells us Maru is right now the best player in the world in terms of form, potentially the greatest of all time. Who knows? You guys can debate about that all you want in the comments. But Rogue has been on a tear as well, and he also is actually leading or very close. I think maybe second place at the time of playing this, second or third. Definitely, him, Maru, and Trap. Him, Maru, and Trap are basically all dominating the Korean scene. They have a crazy number of points. Serral is still doing amazing in the European scene. But what's so interesting is Rogue is the best planner of all time. Serral's a very good planner for his series, but he doesn't gamble. Rogue gambles. If Rogue thinks you're going to do something, he will go all in on a gamble, whether that be extreme greed or extreme aggression. Serral, on the other hand, he will plan for his opponent to try and get ahead. He'll commit to some attacks, some little gambles, but he basically wants to play the long game. Now, Rogue recently showed a lot of weakness in his late game. He couldn't keep up with Dark in terms of micro. They had a Viper Lurker war, and Rogue got dumpstered. It was one of the most one-sided Viper Lurker wars I've ever seen in Zerg vs. Zerg. Dark traded 2 or 3 times more efficiently in terms of Lurkers and Vipers. And that's scary because Serral used to be heralded as the best player in that stage of the game, untouchable. And it was actually in 2018 at the World Championship Finals where Rogue was defending his title after being the 2017 World Champion. He played Serral in the semifinals, and he threw the kitchen sink at Serral, was unable to break him. And Serral just got to late game and was untouchable there. Rogue could not match him. And up to that point, we thought Rogue was the best late game ZvZ player. We thought he had really revolutionized the matchup. And then everything changed. Now this is a big Ling Flood coming out, and it's a surprising one because he made it look like a bit of a wall-off build. But Serral, he's solid there. 2 queens in the wall. His Roach Horn's finished. He's trying to go Spire now. That's a lot of surface area. That's a lot of surface area for Serral, but with 4 queens, 2 transfuses available, Rogue doesn't want to take the risk. Now, Rogue's taking a gold base behind this. He's got his Carapace upgrade on the way and a lair finished. So this is really fascinating. Is Rogue just going to take the gold and macro up and then take a 4th and fill in the gaps? Because he's going to be dealing with Roaches and then Mutas on the way. And you know what, guys? I've shat on 2 base Roach Muta builds for a long time. I said it's the worst way to play. Only players on North America who don't understand fundamentals do this. And part of me still believes that, but the fact that I'm seeing the best players do it repeatedly tells me maybe it's a little bit better than I gave it credit for. Oh, nice scout. Sees the Spire. So Rogue knows what he's up against. Now the question is, does Rogue know how to punish this? And Serral is playing the mind game, guys. He is not going to build Mutas out of that Spire, or maybe 1 or 2, and he's going to Nidus Roach Queen all in instead. So Rogue, he's building a Hydra. He might start building Spores and Queens. He's building lots of drones right now as well. Oh, this is but then Serral pussies out. Guys, I think that would have been a kill move. If he committed to nothing but Roaches, pop that Nidus, I think he wins the game. I think that Serral's second guessing himself. I told you guys he does not like gambling. He does not like gambling. He literally just had a genius intuitive move, but Serral doubts himself. He hates gambling. Literally, if there's one man who you take down to a pokies machine, he is the man who will literally smash the machine with a hammer. He hates it. He likes to win off his skill, and honestly, He could have a Nidus popping right now, and honestly, I do think it would potentially win the game. It's a big bummer that he didn't take that opportunity, because now it's just wasted resources. And this Overseer comes in, he's got a Changeling there. The Queens are denying scouting. He's got a much later third, and there's a gold base full of mining. But Serral goes across with some Roaches, denies the mining. Ling's still looking for the backstab opportunity there for Rogue. Now keep in mind, they've got Carapace, which effectively cancels out the +1 range attack of the Roaches. That is because the Roaches are still going to take 3 shots rather than 2. Nice surround here. He's going to get a few of these. 4 Roaches will go down. Nice plays by Rogue. Rogue here seems like he's happy to just play a Roach Hydra attack and says, I have a gold base, dude. I have so much more money. Your base isn't even mining yet. You might have a few more workers, but who cares? Look at this income advantage. Well, it's been mostly Serral earlier on, since his opening was a little more efficient. We'll check in on that in a little while, I guess. You can see it is jumping ahead for Rogue now, but we'll check it in a few minutes and see where that goes. As right now, Serral going 2-1 upgrades. Now, he does not have anything but Mass Roach. 2-1, 51 drones. He's looking for an attack, but Rogue, sorry, I keep calling him Dark. I just cast a Dark series. Rogue is actually super ready for this, in that he's not adding lots of workers. He's just upgrading and building more Roaches and building more Hydras. The Muta's still looking for an opening. Serral finding just whatever he can. So far, the units lost tab slightly in favor of Serral, but it's only been small losses on both sides. These Lings continue to look for openings and find just about nothing. Great movement by Serral, as he'll clean up pretty much the last of these Zerglings now. Very well done by him. And wouldn't it be funny if he kills a drone? Oh, he gets one! He gets one drone before going down. Mutas are going to try and pick off these drones. They're all in the red, but the Hydras do defend them. Maybe you want to swap those drones around, does Rogue. Rogue's on 50 drones. Guys, we're in a 50 drone war. Up about 15 to 20 Roaches, but there's a lot of Hydras and some Ravages, and you've got the Defender's advantage. Roaches run in, another 2 drones go down on that gold. Able to deny the mining. That's a very good move for Serral. He's also got that 2-1 timing coming in. 20 seconds from now, he's got both upgrades. 20 seconds is when he will go. And if he can hit just before the +1 range kicks in 30 seconds for Rogue, that's going to be awesome. It's going to be +1 Carapace versus 2-1. He's going a bit early. Serral forcing the issue. He's got the numbers. I think it might be a good call. His 2-1 kicks in partway through the fight. It's still going to be a very effective upgrade lead. Serral going for the kill. And my lord, I criticized him not going for the Nidus all in. Serral says, this is why I don't do it. I'm a big Roach boy. Makes eye contact with me for a little too long. I look down and say, yes, Serral, you are a big Roach boy. A rough start to the series there. It looked like he was doing pretty good, but just a bit too much commitment to those Hydra upgrades, and you see how expensive they are. Those Hydras, as the army gets big enough, if Rogue had another minute, I think he would have been fine. If his upgrades tied up, he had a few more Roaches tanking for his Hydras, they would have really been worth it, but not quite able to get there. Rogue in the top left now of Pride of Altaris. His opponent, Serral, in the bottom right side. A great start to the series for the NC Sports player. Now, he went for that kind of gasless wall-off Roach Muta play. It's kind of like a fake Roach play, but you still actually get the Roach upgrades. So it's a very, very cute way of doing it. It gives you all those tech units that are good in the mid-game, right? You get Roach speed, Roaches with +1, and Mutas out for air control. It's hard to deal with. Rogue did have the quicker third base, and I do still feel that fundamentally, if the other player with the 3 base can figure out what the defensive player is doing, then I think Rogue in that scenario could have got ahead. Could have droned a little bit harder, and then kind of just used his economic advantage. But because he was out on that gold base, it was really hard to deal with the threat of the Mutas and the Speed Roaches combined. Hatch gas pool. Now this is interesting. Serral builds his pool all the way back here. He doesn't create a wall off. That's interesting. Rogue does. Now remember guys, on this map, if you 12 pool drone pool as Serral, Rogue could go Evo Chamber, Evo Chamber, Evo Chamber, Evo Chamber. He can actually wall off with 4 or 5 Evo Chambers. We figured this out on our stream randomly while trolling, and found out it's actually very effective. They literally can't get in because this map has the rare case where the creep goes to the edge there and the edge here, and the ramp is on this side. Whereas normally, even if the creep touches the edge, the ramp is over there. So you can't wall it off. Ling speed starts up a second earlier for Rogue. Okay, almost identical. 1 worker off gas for Rogue, 1 worker off gas for Serral. Looks pretty chill. Both players going for just 2 Zerglings. They're going to make their way out across the map. Both players setting up their overlords for vision outside, and Rogue sending a drone towards the gold base. Serral sending a drone towards the third. Rogue is gonna go for the gold base. He's gonna say, hey Serral, you wanna dance? You're gonna take your shitty conservative third, easy to defend, but it don't give you as much of a payoff. Serral already gonna get a little bit of damage on that. We'll see what happens. Ooh, okay, Baneling Nest is gonna be on the way for both sides. Identical timings. Now, does Serral take the aggressive approach? He did that versus Raynor in Pigsty Festival, and it was very effective. And I think it's the best way to play is just pile on the aggression. Definitely, it doesn't have to be just like, derp, I only hold down Zergling Key. You can go 26, 27 drones. And the idea is, as you get momentum, squeeze in rounds of drones behind it. But the trick is, and this is what we actually saw in a different series recently, we saw the player who was putting on the aggression not leave any Banelings at home. You have to leave Banelings at home, because Rogue's not just going to sit defensive. He's going to try and counterattack hard. The best way to defend a base sticking out like that is to actually be offensive. And you can see it, 16 Zerglings on the way. Serral's already going for a Roach Warren, so Serral's not attacking at all. He's planning to just defend. He needs to make Banelings right now. He needs to make Banelings right now. Those Lings are about to come out. He's only making one Baneling. Serral being so greedy right now. Let's just lock onto both players' visions, get rid of that little lag spike. And Serral, he's only got one Bane morphing. He needs to make more. There's already 4 Banelings morphing for Rogue on the front. There we go. More Banes on the way. That third base sticking out pretty far. So he's planning for a Roach attack, is Serral. Now he's building another Roach Warren in the wall off as a fake, because he doesn't want him to realize that he's already got a Roach Warren in the back. Serral is planning to go for a big Roach Bane all-in attack. Now that Queen looking good. The Zergling's a bit too close to the Banelings. Oh, Rogue! Rogue messes up real bad there. Rogue messes up and eats a big Baneling, but oh my god, Rogue's gonna get a counter hit, and he gets 5 of those Zerglings and takes the Queen down. That Queen was the anchor. Serral, why did he not pull his extra Queen down here? I've got to question that. I think he should have. I don't think he should have worried about the wall. I think he should have worried about holding his defensive anchor at the front. Rogue does kill one of the Banelings morphing at the front. Another one does finish out on the left side. He gets 3 Zerglings, but he's still in big trouble. Another Baneling gets a big hit there. And Serral trying to do the Roach all in, just defend and get up to that. But without an extra Queen and without enough Ling Bane, Rogue catches him being too greedy. Serral, this is something I've seen a lot recently. Players being too greedy, trying to go straight to the Roach Bane, and it does not work out. Rogue catches him. Serral, I think there was saying we got to get up to a Roach Bane, just defend. He's gonna overcommit to Lings, trying to protect from Ling Bane aggression. We'll defend it with minimal units, and then bam, we're out there. If he pulled that other Queen to the front, morphed a few more Banelings and Zerglings, maybe he could have done it, but Rogue got the micro in, ties up the series. All right, tied the map up. 1 map apiece. In the top right, it's Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Rogue. And Serral in the bottom left, representing NC Esports there. I didn't mind the plan. I did feel the Roach Warren was a little too early, especially with a second Roach Warren in the wall-off. That's 300 minerals down the drain, plus 2 drones. So that was over the top. Serral should have just built an Evo in the wall. I think he was thinking too much about the mind games and not focusing on the basics of make more Lings and Banes and get your Queen down there and just bloody defend. So I honestly, even if Rogue sees you've gone the Roach Warren, I think you're in a fine spot there as the defender. So a bit of a mistake for him. Now, we had an interesting bit of live reporting coming actually from our Twitch chat. Thank you, Higgs and Theo, by the way, for the support there, guys. So we actually had Bionic Giblet, a reporter in the field of StarCraft, who's been watching these tournaments live, say, Rogue has said in a couple of recent interviews that he feels Serral is the better player, so tries to find early advantages and use a lot of mind games against him. Now, I think that makes perfect sense. I feel like that's kind of how Rogue plays versus everybody. I don't know if Rogue has considered himself the better mechanical player than anybody in the top 20 for maybe 4 years, honestly. Not really since his World Championship and maybe even before then. He's a very good player, but honestly, he tries to just beat people with strategy, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Rogue is the closest thing to a pure strategy Zerg that there is in the world. He sets up very well. He gambles on the right things. He's always, I would say versus most opponents, he's looking for early advantages. And it's kind of funny because he gets that advantage. Like him versus Maru is him doing really smart things and then sometimes throwing the game in silly ways. And that's always what kills me about watching Rogue versus Maru, because Maru throws games versus Roaches so much versus him, and he throws games versus, oh, let's just not micro my Ling Bane that well, or not keep up my production quite as tight as I should. And a huge thanks to Old Juggy. I'm going to turn those sound alerts back on and give you a big thanks between the games. Thank you so much for the love, everybody. Really appreciate it. Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope you're enjoying this game, whether it's live or on YouTube, maybe a few days after we've cast it. It is around Christmas time as we are casting this. And it looks like both sides have opened up pretty standard. 1 worker off gas for Rogue, 1 worker off gas for Serral. No gold-based shenanigans here. We'll see exactly where this series goes. Best of 7, and of course, remember it's the upper finals, so they could face off in another best of 7 if the loser of this wins the losers finals, which they'll get knocked down to. So a bunch of big matches on the way no matter what. We'll, of course, be casting them all here on the channel and see what's happening. Rogue, also known for not practicing that much. So when Rogue won his... well, he didn't actually win, sorry. When Dark won his World Championship, Rogue actually played the most disappointing games in that World Championship in the end of 2019. So what do I mean by that? I mean, he's the hype killer. This is when I said, okay, Rogue has been doing this for a while, but now we're actually officially giving him the nickname, the hype killer. And what do we mean by the hype killer? Basically, Rogue takes your fan favorite players that are going to play interesting games and he just kills them with the most abusive shit he can find. Now, that was where Rogue kind of infamously was not practicing for 2019. He's like, yeah, whatever, just having some fun. And he's like, oh yeah, like part way through the final GSL season, I realized Zerg is really broken and that I should practice. And I think he won season 3 of GSL that year. Just started practicing and he just abused Swarm Host Nidus every Zerg versus Protoss. And he did the dirtiest strategies and everything was so well planned. It was just insane to see a guy beat people at that level with the sort of strategies that just kind of looked like you'd see them at regular GM level, not at top pro level, but everything was planned out to perfection. They were all, he was, and the way he made them work is he would be greedy at points of the game where he knew the opponent would be passive and he would play really greedy at these like weird parts of the game where normally people would just build defense because, hey, you got to be safe. And he was like, nah, people never attack here. I don't need to be safe, dude. Now, nice wall off there with the Zerglings and the Queen. Not going to let Serral get that information that he thrives on. Likewise, though, Serral has been pretty good at denying Rogue's vision. Rogue not worrying too much about that, of course. And we're just swapping to both players' visions there just to get rid of that little lag spike that happens the first time you do that for whatever reason. It looks like an identical build order, but Rogue's up 3 workers. When you're both playing this passive, that definitely bodes well. Your Roach Horns a little later. Doesn't really matter, though, as this is going to be just a Roach macro game. Now, Rogue's going to try to get in. Does Serral let him in? Nope. Queen's on duty in the wall. Zergling runs in the third, sees a lot of drones rallying over there. Serral seeing that, he's going to double down his drone production. Says, whoa, you're playing really greedy. Now, he doesn't know that gases... Oh, Rogue's all in! Rogue's all in! Now, how do I know that, guys? He is pulling extra drones to his third to give the illusion of being full of saturation. And you know what? Serral's not morphing an Overseer, so if he doesn't morph an Overseer, he's dead. So what's happening right now is Rogue, he knows Serral's going to scout the third, so he shows 6 gases, a full mineral line, and that tells Serral he's at 66 drones. But what can we see? He's not, because he hasn't taken these gases or droned up these minerals. He pulled extra workers just to complete the illusion. Now, some people out there would say, tricks? Really, Rogue? Tricks in a bloody finals? And Rogue says, no, these aren't tricks, Michael. They're illusions. Tricks are what a horde does for money. And you know what? Serral is absolutely falling for these illusions right now. He sees even more drones coming out. Another fake transfer. And dude, he's absolutely buying it. Serral actually thinks he's up against a mega greedy build. And you know what's funny though? Serral is going for his own Roach Nidus all-in. If Serral macroed here, he'd die to this Roach push because it's just a straight Roach push that's about to push out for Rogue in the next 20 seconds. And you know what, guys? Serral is going for a push with only 5 more workers. So Serral thinks he's got a bigger army right now. He's about to find out that he is terribly wrong on that regard. This is actually so funny because as long as Serral defends, it's perfect because he didn't drone too hard. If he tried to go 65, 70 drones, he'd probably die. But as it is, he could be okay. The question is, he sees this, right? I mean, his overlords, surely he saw that. His overlords are in bad positions. Bad map control for Serral right now. He's made a bit of a mistake here. He does need to bring that army down together and just do nothing but mass Roach right now. He's got to do nothing but mass Roach. He is down just a little bit in army supply. With Defender's advantage, Serral might be able to hang on. This is a very close fight right now. +1 Roach speed versus +1 Roach speed. I think with Defender's advantage, Serral should be able to hold on. Now, he's already thinking about Nidus when I'm counterattacking. He may be jumping into that a little too early, or actually, this might just be a kill move. Dude, Serral picking a strategy to kill what he thought was a greedy build. It ends up also being a good defensive build order. Roach is going to come out of the main base. Going to focus the Roach down there and see exactly what he can do. It's going to be good harassment. Does he pull back? Rogue's going to push in again. I think Serral's got this. We'll see, though. The Roach fight starts well, but now he's got to pull out. He's got to pull out of that main. He's focused on the front. He wins there, but this fight starts turning south. He does evacuate. Now, if Serral is going to he's going to chase. And look at this. He's getting in the mineral lines. Roaches coming in from all sides. The Roaches in the middle are fighting. Oh, my God. It is a scramble, a mad scramble to see who can end up in top position. I don't know what the hell is going to happen in this game, but I know that Rogue realizes this is a dicey spot. He has a bad economy, so he's going to go for the throat. He's going to go across the map. Now, the Nidus Worm could be used to defend. These Roaches are going to take a very good fight on the front for Serral. Look at this. The Roaches and drones are stuck behind the wall. A terrible fight for Rogue, but a great fight for him on the other side of the map. They are both dicking each other in different areas of the map right now. And at this point, I don't exactly know who's going to win, but we see the army supply pull ahead. This fight's too good. That wall off, getting choked in there for Rogue, way too bad. And even though he's starting to clean up the drones, you can see he is out of steam. And Rogue with a genius game plan. But unfortunately for him, there is a power to aggressive build orders. And this is what I always say, the hidden advantages of aggression, right? We have an old Pig Daily talking about this. Serral had no idea. He did not scout in here, I don't think. Wait. Did he? He scouted in there much earlier. Let's just look at Serral's vision and see if he realized what was up. I don't think he did. Because if he actually saw what was up, then that's genius. But I don't think he did. I don't know why it lags so much when I'm swapping from player viewpoints, guys. Yeah, he sees extra drones transferring. Serral's just like, nah, man, we're just trying to kill you because you're going to be greedy. This is just a good timing attack. And an inadvertent side effect of this timing attack is it keeps him safe versus Rogue's 50 drone all in. If he went 66 drones, I'm pretty sure he dies. This is wild now. Yeah, I think Serral only scouted the natural much earlier in this game, guys. Like, yeah, when he scouted up there like minutes earlier when it wasn't even an important thing to scout. So he saw that probably at the start of this game with his first Overlord. He doesn't see this natural at all because look, he hasn't even seen this. He saw the Roach Warren start and that was it. And then he doesn't get any more vision in here for the rest of this time. Beautiful series so far. Mindgames abound, but Serral takes the 2-1 lead. All right, guys, we're going into game 4, and he's up 2-1. It's a good start to the series. I still do not think... Some people in chat were saying that he may have seen the gas missing on the front of the natural, but I think when he saw that, if he did with his Zergling at like 5 minutes, I think it's still a little too early for it really to matter that much. I still think he actually bought the tail that Rogue was saying. He just happened to pick a very... good aggressive build order against it where it's like, hey, 5 drones more than your opponent. That is perfect for Serral. If you are facing an all-in from your opponent in Zerg vs. Zerg, I would normally be like, okay, I want to go 8 drones ahead of my opponent and just make like the same units as them. Now, obviously, if I can get mutas out and they've only got roaches, like that's even better, of course. But in general, just keeping it really safe, it's like, oh, they're attacking me. I'll get 8 more workers. But by the time their army gets across the map, Defender's Advantage will have made up for it, and I can defend, and I've been mining off 8 workers for longer, and I've just got a massive lead. Now, Rogue here is going to go pool first again, guys, and he's sending a drone out. He's going 3 hatch before pool? Wait, what is this? No, what? Pool, what? He's faking a 1 base all in to try and get a massive overreaction. What is this build? I mean, Rogue is just bringing out all the tricks, and we mentioned that interview where he said, yeah, Serral's stronger than me in the later game, and I just want to get early advantages. I feel like he does this versus everyone, but my God, his mind games. This is what I'm talking about. Rogue is a mind dungeon, right? Some people have a mind palace. If you go into his one, I mean, there's horses getting chopped in half. If you could go inside his mind, there is crazy stuff happening. You're just like, what is going on? Rogue's Labyrinth, man. It's a mind blender. Because, like, look, you're going to come in as Serral. You're not going to see that third. You're going to see no expansion. And he's going to panic. And justifiably so is Serral going to panic. Like, oh, so he sees 6 lings come out at this kind of weird timing. And little does he know, Rogue's actually just macroing. And Rogue's even going to go out with his queen and hunt this Overlord, right? I'm surprised he's not bringing the Overlord over to spot it, actually. Or is he going to let that Overlord come in close? He's waiting with the queen. What is this? He's just droning right now. Baneling Nest and a Spine Crawler. Yeah. So Serral's like, shit, Ling Speed's about to kick in. Now, Serral should realize at about 2 minutes 40 because Ling Speed should kick in at 2 minutes 30. If this was an all-in from Rogue, that on 1 base, that would be what would happen. So Rogue's coming in. He's acting really scary. These Zerglings are posturing like, yeah, all in. I'm all-inning you. Yeah. Serral cancels the Spine. Starts Ling Speed and is like, what the fuck? Moves his Overlord over and goes, oh, you cheeky little shit. And he does start droning up, but Rogue now moving his queen down, drops the tumor to connect it. He's up 3 workers, 5 workers now, funnily enough. Just by forcing that early Bane nest out, the drones to stay in the main. This Bane nest also kind of walling off this path a little bit, making it a little awkward for him. And you know what? That might actually be an advantage for Rogue. His link speed is ahead by about 10 seconds. That'll give him a bit more mobility. And just if they play a normal Ling Bane game from here, this really works out. He's already on 3 queens as well. That Overlord will not die because, of course, the rocks are here. It can easily just push on that high ground. But Rogue's going to push it back and just kind of limit Serral's map vision. We go to Serral's map vision here. He needs to get another Overlord, probably out on this right side, because otherwise Lings could sneak out and he won't see them straight away. Rogue Scout does get denied. Serral has a handful of extra Zerglings in there. It's only down 2 workers right now, which is not too bad. 3 queens versus 3 queens. Baneley Nest about to finish there for Rogue. Ling speed will kick in momentarily for Rogue, so he should be able to shut down these 2 Zerglings. You're going to see wings pop up on his Lings as they jump in on top of that. And there we go. That Zergling does get cornered. Sees a lot of drones on the hatchery though. Only 2 base for both players. No one's secured a 3rd yet. 8 more drones on the way for Rogue. What is this build? Surely you need a 3rd hatchery if you're going to play so many drones. Otherwise, what's the plan? It's Ling Bane aggression into mass drone. Okay, so Rogue is thinking about taking a 3rd behind this. There we go. What a bizarre build order. And this is putting Serral into uncharted waters. He's down 7 workers right now. He needs to counterattack. He cannot defend. Oh, we've seen Serral do this versus Raynor before. If Raynor scares him and fucks around with him a bit with these weird build orders, Serral just sits at home with his Ling Bane. And there is a golden rule of Zerg versus Zerg, which is if you get forced to make a lot of Ling Bane, go attack your opponent. You need to actually use it to get map control. Maybe leave a Baneling with your queens, but he should be going across this map. Now he starts to do it now. He does have some Banelings morphing. There we go. I like this. I like that. He's going to move forward. The queens have moved out there. Looks like they managed to get an Overlord. Not a bad little snipety snipe. Ling skirmishing right now on the other side. It looks like the Banelings have finished morphing, so plenty of safety precautions at home. He's going to try to run on in. Serral does have a 3rd hatchery on the way, but he's down 7 workers here. And that is a big advantage for Rogue, where Serral's just trying to get his bearings in this game, and Rogue is happy to just play this weird, chaotic macro game. Oh my god, Rogue with a huge miss micro runs all his Zerglings into those Banelings, but he's got 1 more Baneling, and actually great detonation. I think that was a manual det, because he wasn't quite in range, but he did manage to get a pretty good hit there. Cleans it up with only 2 drone losses. Could have been worse. At the end of the day, you can see similar Zerglings have gone down on both sides. Now, I don't know why that doesn't show Banelings. That's weird. Is it because the Banelings have detonated themselves, they don't show up in the units lost? They show up in the resources, though. So that's kind of funny. That's kind of funny, isn't it? The units lost usually pretty good this tab, but does have a few small issues. Rogue is going to go heavy on the counter aggression. He's actually planning a Carapace Roach all in. So this is all about keeping Serral busy and off mining this 3rd base so that Serral doesn't realize what's up. Serral needs to go nothing but Roach production, but look at the vision. And the creep highway! Oh my god, the creep highway is so far forward. Serral's vision, he lost that Overlord earlier. He's not going to see these Roaches in time. He is building some Roaches. If he holds down the Roach key, he can win, but if he builds even a single drone, he is dead. Serral needs to do nothing but Roaches, and even then it's questionable because 16 Roaches on the map, and his first 5 have not even popped. Serral building a spine, he's cluing onto what's happening. It's an emergency spine in the back of his natural, but even losing his 3rd will be a huge problem. Rogue making 11 Banes. He's as all in as they come. Serral pulling back to his wall in. I think that Carapace doesn't need to get up. He's going to get +1 range finished. Very well done. The queens need to pull back. Great micro here by Serral. Just using his Roaches and queens. And there we go. Cancels Carapace. Queues up more Overlords, more Roaches. He's making his own Banes as well. Honestly, this is beautiful play by Serral. But he hasn't rebuilt his Roach Warren, and that could be a problem. The Spine Crawler will finish. Roaches on the right doing well. I mean, Rogue is actually playing so patiently. I would feel a lot of urgency if I was Rogue to shove in. He's playing it real patient. Transfuse goes down. Roach Warren falls. New Roach Warren's rebuilding in the back, but that means there is another 30 seconds until they can build. He goes forward to fight this. I think Serral should not have gone out here. He was getting his numbers together, but he needed to keep defending. He was worried because he didn't have Roach production, but remember, it's only Ling Rally from Rogue. Moving out was a disaster. He had to fight with the Spine Crawler. He had to use the choke, but Rogue's Ravage account was starting to scare him. He saw that those Ravages were coming in. They were going to bile him down, and now look at this. Banelings ain't going to do jack versus the Roach Ravager. And that is a beautiful win there for Rogue. If we just quickly rewind, I don't think Serral needed to move out there, guys. I think that was a mistake. Brought some Roaches in from the right side. Obviously, having part of his production cut off sucks, but Yeah, I don't think this made sense. Honestly, right now, you got to remember, it's only Zerglings being built for Rogue. As long as you have enough Banelings back, those Zerglings can't do that much, right? You've got a Spine here. Right now, we've got, what is that? 3 Ravages and 15 Roaches versus 10 Roaches. But you've got more Roaches coming. You get up to 13. I know it kind of sucks because your Roach Warren's dead. And that is why I think maybe he needed to just invest in that Roach Warren a little bit earlier. Definitely needed to fight in the choke point and play it real patient there. But moving out into the concave, look at the way Rogue spreads his units, comes in with this big arc. He spreads versus the Banes as well, so they don't actually get the crazy hits they wanted. He's got that Carapace upgrade helping him out here the whole time as well, which is very big in these battles. You see even the Banelings there surviving. Wait. Did you guys see that? Now, Banelings do 16 damage each, so 2 Banelings should kill the enemy Banelings. But you've got to remember that if the Banelings don't hit at the same time, they regen a hit point instantly. And then if the other Baneling hits just like 3 seconds later, they survive on 1 hit point. So let's look at these Banelings. Look at what happens here. These 2 Banes go in. Doesn't he detonate at the same time? How do they not die? Oh, because it's the 1 armor as well. Oh, so they're doing 15 as Serral. Okay, so Serral made a mistake. He A-moved his Banelings. Check this out. I didn't even know this was a thing, guys. But if they have +1 Carapace, you need to manually detonate your Banelings rather than A-moving. Because A-moving means they'll blow up almost simultaneously, but there is technically even a split second between them. And that gives the chance for the regen to kick in. And as long as that 1 hit point ticks over before the other Baneling connects, which it did here, all the Banelings survive on 1 hit point. And that means they're able to then close in and blow up on the Roaches. I don't think that would have changed the outcome of the game, but that's fascinating. I did not realize Carapace changed that math, and that is because Banelings had their damage nerfed about 2 years ago. So that's something that's really interesting. Rogue does tie up the series 2-2. Tying up the series 2-2, and he says it's time to bring out the 12 pool. Oh my god. And what's the bet he pulls the drones as well? This, in the top left, is Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Rogue. His opponent in the bottom left, he likes to go hatch first. He never dies to all-ins. So this is a wild move. If he pulls the drones, I mean, Serral is the player I would give the highest chance in the world of just shutting that down. But let's keep our eyes on it. Serral in the bottom right is almost certainly going to go hatch first. And we see that drone going to the natural. We'll see what happens. We're just having a little discussion about how ZvZ is so much more exciting in Legacy. And it's because we actually see Muta versus Roach, Roach versus Muta. We see tech switches into Mutas, tech switches back into Roaches. We see some players playing Mass Roach Ravager, some playing Roach Ravager Viper, some rushing up to the Lurker Viper. It's the variety, it's the upgraded Zerglings, it's those Carapace pushes, it's the fact that there is so much strategic diversity that keeps it fresh. Now, Rogue looks like he's actually just going to do a 12 pool pressure opening. Interesting. Now, if we see a gas soon, he's doing a cheeky all-in behind it. It's like a real sneaky all-in, it's a tricky all-in, but we don't see that gas just yet. The latest he would have to go for that is probably right after he starts his Queen. And that Queen will start up in just a moment as he goes to his 9th and 10th Zergling, that last pair. Queen does start up. And no gas. All right, Rogue's just playing a macro opening. It's a pretty small map. Let's see what he can do with it. We already see Serral pulling down a few drones here, interestingly, to try and check that he's not got a hatch cancel spine crawler or anything like that coming in. And he's going to have to pull a lot of drones down. He's actually going back on gas temporarily. Interesting here for Serral. Guys, Serral is no doubt going to control group all of his drones on an army group in a moment. He's already got those 3 on a group, and we're going to see more coming in. Serral, look at that. 13 drones, army 2, 4 pairs of Zerglings, number 1. And he's going to come down and try to buy time. So his trick here, he wants to get Rogue to fight the drones so that he can save the hatchery. That hatchery only has 650 hit points. Serral's left this pretty late. He's going to have to wait. His Zerglings are going to start popping out. He's going to try and fight with those Zerglings, gets them out of there. Well done. More Zerglings are down here. And this is it. Great play so far by Serral. Already surrounds the Zergling, but does get one of his own surrounded as well. A little bit of a mistake from him. Great angling by Rogue, but he doesn't have the numbers. He's got to back out. And at the end of the day, he gets 1 Zergling and damages a hatchery and wastes some mining time. Oh, that doesn't feel great for Rogue. That feels pretty good for Serral. I gotta say, guys, if I was Serral, I'd be pretty happy with that. He gets his 2nd Queen out slightly earlier. He's up in drones, and he's already almost mined 100 gas, so he can start link speed much earlier. Now, he doesn't have to start link speed. There's a real argument here behind saying, well, he's just gonna macro up I'm just going to macro up. I'm actually going to delay my ling speed, just do nothing but build overlords and drones and get ahead that way. So Rogue definitely trailing off this opening a little bit. I said that Serral is one of the most perfect players against the early cheeses. People used to say, why don't people cheese Serral? Back when he was dominant, and was like, well, it never works. I mean, the cheese, you have to eco cheese him. You have to be super greedy, then hit him with a big attack. That's the way you try to take him out. (27 versus 26). We got the Evo chamber on the way. Spreading his creep forward. Now, gas is starting to mine here for Rogue, who's very focused on his work account. He says, look, off this, I don't have any aggressive potential, but if I hold that drone key down, I might get a little bit of a worker advantage. Serral going Carapace. Okay. Very good build order, the Carapace. We've already seen Rogue do it a few times in this series. It's a really good build order. Makes your Zergling Roach aggression very powerful. Helps your Queens be very tanky versus mutas as well. Lots of plays you can do off it. Rogue is down 5 workers right now. Now, I'd actually love to see Serral take a third. In this scenario, I really think that's awesome, but I think basically they're both kind of saying, look, if I just go out and take a third, I'm banking on him not having link speed. And if you look at Rogue's vision, he has no idea what's going on. He can't get in there. And likewise for Serral, sorry for those lag spikes, there we go, same thing. He can't get in there. How are you going to get in and scout? So they're both like, well, he could be making link speed and going for a link flood. So neither player wants to commit to a risky third. Now Serral's going to do it because he's the one who's actually going to do a Carapace link flood. He's got 10 Zerglings on the way. So if Rogue moves out to a third, he'll be in trouble. Now Rogue's playing the most standard Roach player. Look at that, Serral timing out his Zerglings to run in at the perfect time. He sees extra drones coming out, which should make him feel pretty safe about not getting Nidus all in or anything like that. Doesn't tell him too much else. He doesn't know that the 4th gas is missing. That tells you it's Roach play. If that gas was down, it would definitely be, or much more likely to be mutas. That would be more of a possibility. As it is though, this is just, I'm going to make Roaches. I'm going to take a third base. I'm going to play double upgrades. And I think like Rogue here is like, look, I've been playing so tricky this whole series. It's time to just do something a little bit more solid and standard. Look at this. He's trying to chase this Overlord down and kill it so that his Lings can sneak out. But that's not going to work, man. There's no way he pushes that back in time. And Serral doesn't want to waste time. Oh, maybe. Wait, Serral, go. Wait, no, don't show the Zerglings. Serral! He showed his Zerglings. Did Rogue see it? We're on Rogue's camera. I don't know if Rogue saw it. Otherwise, Rogue would be looking at his third right now. Oh, those Lings are coming in. He sees it on his minimap. He's not watching right now. Rogue! We're on Rogue's camera. He's microing his Zergling. Okay, now he sees it. But oh my god, that's a lot of Zerglings. Now, they should probably just surround that. Even though it's not the best angle, I think he has the Ling numbers. Oh, Transfuse goes down. Yeah, he should be able to clean this up, right? Man, this is a pretty good positioning for Rogue, though, in the mineral line. Limited surface area there. And actually, the Lings end up having to back off. Serral committed a lot to this. He should go for the natural now, right? But great positioning by Rogue. And Rogue not doing anything fancy. No muta build. There's so many tricky builds. If Rogue was doing these, Lings would ruin him. But he's doing nothing but making Roaches. And he's got the worker advantage. The Lings have not found the damage. Serral went mass Zerglings. And you know what? Rogue's build was actually perfect against this. Serral not finding the damage that he wanted, and he'll be frustrated. I guarantee you, he's frustrated that he's like, you're not meant to be able to get that third up, man. Damn. At this point, I'd love to see Serral split Zerglings to hide in the bottom left and also in the top center. If he hides those Zerglings, he can look for run-bys on the third, run-bys on the natural, and he just wants to, you want to do that waiting for your opponent to get busy elsewhere on the map. Now the Overseer comes in, gets pushed out by the Queen, sees a few drones going to the third. He's a little higher on the drones on his third, so he probably feels good about that. But you got to remember, his natural is way undersaturated. So actually, he's planning an all-in. And oh my god, he's just going to do a +1 Roach all-in on 43 drones. This is so committed by Serral. But Rogue is stopping on 50 workers. Rogue, I feel like he's just got the game sense of the gods. And honestly, I always talk about how Rogue knows what his opponents are going to do before they do it. Rogue, right now, any other player would be like, I got to build another 5 or 6 workers, 7 or 8 workers, let's get up there. That's not going to happen this time. He's just scouting. He's not getting any info. He doesn't even, does he need it? Does he need the info? Now he's going to see a lot of workers on this base. This is a fake transfer, just like what Rogue did earlier in this series. He's only got 7 workers on his natural, 13 on his main. Serral is going completely all in. Rogue did squeeze another 4 workers out. That might be a little too greedy, maybe. He's still got such a good Roach count, though. The Ling, oh, he could have maybe ran in with the Lings, but he's not able to. Now the Roaches are thinking about moving out right now, but I think he sees so many Roaches, and Serral's like, shit, this isn't going to work. You've got more Roaches than me, man. I don't know, dude. I think if he was going to commit, he had to do it right then. He still had so many Zerglings that even though Rogue had more Roaches, I think maybe he could have done it. Rogue transferring workers out of his natural as well to make it look like he's also droning. They're both pretending to drone more than they are while denying Overseers from scouting the main in the natural. These goddamn geniuses. This is actually so funny. You've got two players who are throwing so many feints out there and denying their opponent from getting the 100% information. Look at that. He sees there's not enough drones in the main. Rogue knows that Serral is on a shit economy because he just saw only four drones across 3 mineral patches. There should be at least 6 there. That is a big issue for Serral. Serral is still in a giant army, but Rogue has just been mining a bit more money. And remember, he's going to have +2 way earlier. This is a massive issue for Serral, who is going to have to play this very slowly at this point. He's trying to bile out the overlords, push them back. Rogue is up 6 army supply. And remember, a lot of that army supply is Roaches versus Zerglings. Now, Rogue coming in with his +2 attack timing. Nice defender's advantage being used by Serral. Takes out a Roach for free. He's trying to push that Overseer down. But I think Rogue realizes that he has the numbers. He has the upgrade advantage right now. This is absolutely huge. And let's see what goes on. The Roach Ravager going on. Seeing exactly what they can take down. Trying to bile down a lot of these units. The Roach Ravager jumping on top of what's going on. And the Roach Ravager just going to come up from behind and take that fight. Where the heck did those Lings evaporate to, man? They just disappeared, didn't they? That once the +2 kicked in, the carapace didn't matter for anything. The Zerglings were getting 2-shot. And now Serral, he's got a big Roach army coming in. Roach Ravager cleaning up his Warren, picking off a few Overlords for good measure. And he's going to say, come back and defend your mineral line, bro. Come back and fight for your mineral line. Come on, man. Come on, bro. And Serral does not have the numbers here. Serral's Speedling attack getting stopped in its tracks. He had a fantastic start to this series. But Rogue playing one of the most generic and exceptionally safe Roach into third base games. And it felt like he knew that Serral, with a bit of an advantage, would want to push him on the third. And he shut it down and defended and just took his leads, built upon it, and he's now in the 3-2 advantage. All right, guys, let's get to game number 6 here in the bottom left. He needs to win the next 2 in a row to win this upper finals. This is Serral. Serral for NC Sports. His opponent in the top right, that's Dragon Phoenix Gaming's big brain, 300 IQ, Mr. Rogue. For those who don't know, a lot of people out there have been claiming Rogue is the GOAT, but it's just due to incorrect Google indexing of the searches. A lot of people made that claim after realizing that Rogue 1 was one of the highest search terms a couple of years back. And it turns out that, no, as much as he's won a lot of tournaments, Rogue is not #1 in the world. He could be. If he wins this tournament, he might be like, hey, my form's better than you, Maru. And already, I mean, he's actually had some very good matches with Maru recently, but already make that argument. But we'll see exactly what goes on. I mean, this is the upper finals. These two guys are looking fantastic. And going to be very standard openings here. Serral builds the spawning pool over there. Creates a bit more of a wall-off, especially if they want to build spine crawlers up here with a 12-pool drone pool. A little bit of a safety precaution. Now, Rogue, funnily enough, doesn't go for the wall-off on the minerals. But by putting it there, he creates a nice little corner that his queen can hide in. So the queen can just get in there. Zerglings can't really surround it very easily, though it is actually better if the pool's down one space. Because of the curved corner of the hatchery, 3 Zerglings could easily hit a queen from the top side. And unless she shuffles to the bottom, in which case she'd stick her butt out and then she'd let 3 or 4 Zerglings attack her there as well. So I would argue this is suboptimal pool placement. You want to either put it down there or you want to create a wall that can be plugged with the queen there. Is Rogue better than MVP or Nesty? Infinitely. It's always nice to talk about our old greats. Those guys can't really be compared because they figured the game out in the early days, you know? And they were so good at that time. They were ahead of the meta and ahead of the curve. But what these guys have done at this point, Rogue, Maru, Serral, is, I think, without doubt, more impressive in my mind. King of Wings MVP, I think a little more impressive than Nesty. I just think we kind of overrate Nesty, maybe even a little more, because he did fall off quicker than MVP. But Nesty, obviously, Artosis just got such a proverbial hard-on for Nesty that we kind of overrate him a little bit. He was great. He was a great player, and he did very well. But definitely, it's always hard to argue the different periods of StarCraft and gaming in general. It's always one of those things that it's fun to talk about. That's why I like the greatest of all time, is people get so angry about it. They're like, no, my player is the best. And I'm like, this is great. It gets people riled up and passionate. You know, that's the best thing. Because in any sport, the GOAT argument is always highly controversial. It's always highly controversial. It's just this fun thing for fans to argue about. And that's what I love. And the thing is, you can both learn about why players are really good from those arguments, but it also is just cool to see everyone passionate. And essentially, it's almost like just a way of cheering for your favorite player, right? He's the best because of this. She's the most badass because of this tournament was the hardest. Oh, that's melee. Oh, that's melee. Rogue playing mutas, baby. Rogue playing mutas. Oh, Rogue is going to go 3-base muta. Makes it look like a roach build. Still builds a roach horn in the wall. I love it. This is so beautiful, guys. Queen's going on very well. Who is the current GOAT? Definitely not an oxymoron there. Definitely not. Those two terms may be mutually exclusive. Who is currently the greatest of all time? And I'm like, nah, syntax error does not compute. +1 range is on the way. Serral playing a very standard style right now, guys. Gas going down there. 4 gases, real chill. Now, the important thing is for Serral to immediately get an Overseer in and Scout and realize what's up. Now, one thing that could tell him what's up is if he sees no roaches at like a certain time when he's already got roaches out. He's building 2 more queens. Serral already knows what's happening. Look, he senses it. He smells it. And if he sees the gas down here, he's almost certainly going to know, because that's a very early 5th gas geyser. Spire on the way as well. I'm already building 2 more queens, just to be nice and solid, just in case it's mutas, I guess. I don't know how he has that read, to be honest. Like, I'm sure there's some detail where he's like, no. Rogue would always have expert. Rogue is so tricky. He builds 3 roaches. Now remember, guys, Serral hates playing against mutas. He always feels that it's very awkward and you want to know their mutas beforehand so you can commit to the Nidus. He used to say this like a long time ago, and he looks like he still believes that viewpoint. He's going to go for it right now. So he's committing to a Nidus Worm, taking a lot of gases himself. Wait, did Rogue see that? No, he didn't. He cancels the gases after they're spotted. Now Rogue here is committing to a 4 Roach Ling Bane fake out. It is a completely fake attack. He's like, look, I'm building roaches and attacking you. Meanwhile, he's on 6 gases. Rogue is playing mind games galore. The question is, though, if a Nidus Worm gets up, does he just die? And I think the answer might be, yeah. Where's the Nidus? There it is. Butthole. Get in the butthole, queens. Queens, get in there. Time for some backdoor action. Nidus in the main. Roach Bane moving across the front. Oh, look at that, though. Zergling run by catches some roaches. He doesn't have any banelings there. Okay, he moves his queens to the wall. They should be able to hold on decently, but his roaches aren't fighting. Bad micro from Serral right now. He's getting overwhelmed. Now, his lings run into the base, but guess what? The Nidus got shut down, and these roaches and queens, they will be able to defend this, but the Nidus Worm is not up. Where's the rest of the roach army? He's pulled it home. Oh, he's pulled it home. Serral's given up on the push, apparently. I was not expecting this. This is very surprising. Now he's doing it again. Oh, he's going to do a slow queen roach push. I think Serral got so surprised by those lings going around. I don't know if this is on time now, because you got 10 mutas out. I mean, Rogue probably has to give up this hatchery, right? I don't think he can hang on to it by any means. Oh, Nidus pops out. Queens will... Oh, where's the queens? He didn't... Where are the queens? Serral is falling apart right now. His queens were not in the Nidus. The Ling backstab has totally thrown him through a loop. He did not leave a Baneling to defend against the Zerglings. Rogue ran around his attack, did a backstab, and is running circles around Serral right now, barking, saying, get out of here. Korea's better. Korea's better. Korea's better. Finnish player fighting for his goddamn life in this upper finals right now. He does not want to give in to Rogue, but by golly, it looks like Rogue has already got him pinned. He's got the mutas there. He's on top of the overlords. His lings are running in. Another Nidus on the front. He's got banelings to guard it, but these mutas should be able to deal with that, and they will be able to slowly clear that up. I mean, his queens are literally dying as they fight the mutas in the open ground over here. So even popping a Nidus on the front, does it actually do anything? He's going to pop roaches out there, and he will get out a decent number of them. Rogue not targeting the Nidus Worm. He's going to try to reinforce with queens, I guess. The mutas are here. Roach is now going to try and run on in. Banelings and Zerglings going in for a bit of the huggy hugs. The Roach is able to tank that, though. They can handle all the love you throw at them and more. Unlike those boyfriends you've had with commitment issues, ladies, these Roaches, they will give you all the cuddles. But Look at that, the Evo chamber. Rogue keeping him at a distance. Despite that, he says, no, I've got intimacy issues. These roaches trying to get in there. Serral wants to give him that big finish bear hug, but it's going to be hard because already most of his roach count has been taken down. Only 43 drones left for Rogue. If Serral can kill another 10 or 15, that would be huge. But the last roaches are cleaned up there. The third base roaches ran away after killing that. Maybe he could have focused that hatchery down. If he gets these roaches home, that will be big. But at home, what's he got? 36 drones. He's got 3 queens. He has 2 spore crawlers. These mutas reign supreme. 26 mutas are out. Oh, it's Gee. It is Gee. And Serral knows it. My God, Rogue there with a brilliant 4-2. A back and forth hard fought series there. Very damned well played. And Rogue, he takes it. Nicely done.